What's going on, guys? You are watching the Winning Play podcast. I am your host, Sean Gary, National Youth Speaker and author. So, you are going to choose which route? The 3 for the parents, 3 for principals, 3 for teachers, or 5 for one of them?
We'll do 3. We can do 3.
All right. Yeah, so this part works like this. Principals, teachers, and parents, 3 diamonds for each one. The winning play, 3 winning plays for each one. All right, let's start with whichever one you want.
We can do principals. We'll go down the line.
All right, principals.
So for principals, I would say treat your school with a business mindset. And this is what I mean by that. As a business owner, I have to have a vision for my business, right?
Okay.
So when I create my business plan, I have to have a vision of what I want it to look like, what I want the motto to be, how I want it to be ran. That's how it should be with the school. What is your vision as the principal of this school? What is your vision for it? And I mean your vision within a year. What's my 5-year vision plan? What's 10 years? If I plan on staying around that long. But what is your vision? Because once you have a clear vision, then you can start to guide accordingly.
Nice.
The other one I would say is you are the leader of the school. A good leader never leads from the front. They always lead from the back. The reason being is because I need to be able to see everything, right? So make sure that it's not just a matter of, and then not even just whether you lead from the front or the back, but more so, am I leading in a way where I am encouraging my administrators? I'm encouraging the teachers. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times you'll have teachers, which I heard this a lot when I was teaching, is that administration doesn't care.
Yeah.
So instead of, when you talk about connections before lessons, it works even in that route because I should be able to connect with my administration. I should be able to connect with my teachers.
Right.
In a way of, what do you need to feel more supported?
Right.
So make it so that your team, as the leader, your team is able to come to you with ideas. Now, granted, I understand with school, it's a lot of politics. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of different rules and stuff, some red tape that we can't always get around. But to feel heard in a school is a big thing. Yeah. That's a really big thing. And then 3, I would say, for principals is get a mindset of this is not just a school that I'm here at and then I leave and then that's just, you know what I mean? It's not a clock in, clock out thing, unfortunately. It's not a 9 to 5. Yeah. It's not one of those things. So now I don't expect you to be up at email at 2 a.m. going to make house calls, not like that. But I expect you to have that mindset, again, like a business owner. Always wondering, how can I improve? How can we get better? It's not just, okay, that worked, that's it. Right. What else can we do? What else can we improve? How can I get better? Yeah. What is it, some things that I can do? So be open to changes and be open to guiding and directing, because the whole point of it is, a lot of times, like, principals can't leave. Mm-hmm. Usually the principal out is, right. You can tell when the principal's out of the school. Like, yes. You can tell when the principal's out of, you're like, oh my goodness.
Everybody knows.
But when you have everything in line, when everything runs on, you can get that everything running automatically. When you're out, nobody knows.
Right.
Nobody knows.
Right. Yeah.
But that comes with being able to connect with your staff. That comes with being able to have the vision and work the vision. Yeah. That's where that comes from.
Okay. That's good. All right. Teachers.
Well, that connection before lessons is that's the biggest thing. How have you connected with your kids today? That's always making a point. Who did I connect with today?
Put it in the comments, teachers. How did you connect with a student today?
Yeah, who did I connect with today? How can I have a classroom that is inclusive in terms of learning abilities? So thinking about that and understanding that you have to, I know it's hard because we have some kids who are learning abilities are up here. We have some who are in the middle, some they're a little bit lower. How do I work with all of those, right? Use those kids who are up here, who are excelling. Use them to help with the ones who are struggling. Mm-hmm. When you create groups, put one that's excelling. Put one that's in between. And then maybe 2 or 3 of them that's not. Yeah. They're going to feed off of each other.
Right.
It's going to happen. Nice. They're going to, and it's like peers. We used to have, Miss Jones. Well, Miss Jones, we used to have peer reading. I did not like peer reading in the beginning because I don't need nobody else to read it. I just told you, my mom read it twice. I don't need nobody else to read it and tell me what's wrong with my paper. But one, it helped me with ideas because I'm like, I would never even think of it like that. Or what made you write that? And then so we start to feed off of each other our skills. Yeah. We start iron sharpens iron. We start to get better and better. So and it wasn't like, oh, this is a red mark from the teacher. This is a red mark from my friend that I'm about to see at lunchtime. You know what I mean? So it feels different. It doesn't come off so bad. So that's actually a good thing. So use those kids who are excelling to help with the kids who may be struggling. That can be a good thing. And then the other thing is understand that the school is not your entire life. I know they don't want to hear that. They're like, wait a minute, what you mean? Because I can't. You told the principal they can't clock out, neither can I. You're right, and you are absolutely right. I know the feeling, but you have to have time to yourself. Make that a priority. Have boundaries. Now, myself as a teacher, one of the things, especially when I have my older kids, I never had lunch to myself.
Okay.
Never had lunch to myself. I didn't realize that was a bad thing. You know what I mean? So, a couple times.
Y'all can eat in here. Y'all can eat in here.
Well, it started with the kids are like, oh, Miss Keisha, I want to ask you questions for some of my work or something. Oh, okay, cool. Then it became, well, since I had questions, I already went and got lunch. I'm just sit here. Then the kid would walk past like, oh, I didn't know we could eat with you, Miss Keisha. Right, now they coming in. Right. And now it became a thing every time. Then I got kids who, I had kids who struggle socially. So coming in there was helpful because it's only 2 or 3 people and it's me. And most likely it's their classmates. Yeah. So that became a thing. Well, what I would tell them is you can come in here for lunch and that's fine. But y'all gonna have to give me 10, 15 minutes without no questions. Right. And they're like, all right, bet. We bet. Listen, we got you, kid. Don't worry about it. We gonna worry about it. Because I had to set those boundaries. Like, I need time to woosah, get my mind right for the next class. I can't take whatever issues we had in this class with the next one. Yeah. So make it a priority for yourself to have some alone time or do some type of self-care, whatever it is. It could be drawing, coloring, getting your nails done. It could be go getting a haircut if you're a male teacher, some type of but you need some type of self-care. That's good. So that you can be full when you come back to the classroom. When you leave, because you're going to be depleted throughout the day. Yeah. And if you come back depleted, now we got bad behavior management. Man. Now everything they do is irritating you. Now everybody going to the principal office. Right. So right. We want to work on that. So we got the connect with your kids. Make sure you are trying to make it a point to connect with them. Make sure you have some sort of self-care, even if it's throughout at the end of the week or something like that. Something that allows you to fill yourself back up so that you can go back to them. And then that's just the biggest. Those are the main biggest two. The other one was I like it, but those are the main big two. That's what I really want. Just focus on connecting and focus on yourself at some point too, because you gotta fill yourself back up. That's good.
Was that 3? Was that the third one?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's let parents.
Kids are people. let's be clear. Kids are people. So what I mean by that is, if you struggle with your emotions as an adult, if you find yourself getting upset and yelling when you get angry, if you find yourself anxious and not knowing what to do with your emotions or not knowing how to handle things, how can you possibly get mad at your child for not knowing how to? Yeah. So oftentimes our children struggle with the same things we struggle with, but because they're kids, we feel like they should know better. Yeah. But what happens is they were a kid who didn't get help with how to handle their emotions, and now they're an adult that doesn't know how to handle emotions, who has a child that doesn't know how to handle their emotions. See that cycle there? See what happens? Yeah. So we have to have patience with them. I always tell people, I have a tremendous amount of patience for kids. And when I say kids, I don't mean little kids. I mean just the term kids in general, as a general term. I have tremendous patience. It's adults that I struggle with, unfortunately. Once you're past 25 and that frontal, once that start closing, I feel like you should know better because the decision making is there now. Now I'm struggling with you. but we got to understand that our kids are human. They have bad days. One of the things that I teach my son that he uses now that people don't always agree with. My son, in the middle of any type of disagreement, in the middle of any type of battle, he's able to say, "Can I just go to my room?" Yes. No questions asked. I ain't gonna make you talk about whatever it is we was originally talking about. No.
Right.
Because what he has learned is, go get your mind together before you come back to me. Because if you don't, and you say or do something, it ain't gonna end well. It ain't gonna end well.
It's gonna end bad.
So I give him the space to be able to handle his emotions. And I'm showing him that in the real world, as a young black man in America, unfortunately, you don't get the right to just blow up.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn to go somewhere, get yourself together, and come back.
Right.
Because you blowing up, it's not going to end well at all. Not in the real world. Not even
true.
more than me.
That's
will not end well.
That's true.
So understanding that your kids are humans, they have emotions just like you.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing to teach them how to process them?
Right.
So that takes some reflecting. So for parents, I can say the person was reflecting. Understanding that what am I doing to help you process that? I'm mad because you acted out in class, but I've never showed you how to have any type of emotional management.
Yeah.
So that's one big thing.
Sure.
The other thing is, stop taking everything personal. Yes, your son struggles with reading. Yes, your daughter struggles with math. It's not your fault. In regards to just in general.
Right.
Because a lot of times we look at it as, if my child is struggling, that's a reflect on me. Right. So now I'm going to be harder on you because you're making me look bad.
Yeah, that's good.
Why you don't know this?
Yeah.
I knew this when I was little. Why you don't know
it? Right.
What have you done to help them know this?
Yeah.
When's the last time you read to them or had them read something? You know what I mean? So we got to stop taking it personal when we get out of our own way and stop taking it personal.
Making it about ourselves.
Yeah. You make their struggles about you. Meanwhile, they're internally trying to get through this. Their internal turmoil, and you're like, but I know this, and this means there's something wrong with me.
Right.
No, it don't mean something wrong with you. There's just something missing. Something. So again, it's where you take it like, okay, you're struggling in reading. What can I do to help? Not why don't you know this?
Right.
That's the bigger thing. Yeah. So asking the right questions. What can I do to help? Not why don't you know this? That's a big thing. So we had, what was the first one? We had to reflect. So children are human. They're people just like you. Yep. So they have emotions and things that they have to work through. And if you haven't taught them how to work through them, you can't be mad. They don't know how to work through them.
Right.
The two, stop taking everything personal and making it about you. Their struggles doesn't necessarily mean that you did something wrong. There's no playbook to parenting.
Right.
We didn't have kids, and then they gave us the baby and the book. Like, all right, so you're going to read this.
Right.
And this is your manual. That's not how that works.
You click the link, it's a video in there, but you really don't need
You know what I'm saying? So it's trial and error. And sometimes you messed up. Okay, maybe I didn't really go through the process of reading development with you. Maybe I didn't know it myself.
Right.
Maybe I didn't know how to go through the process. Some people, you're like, when did you learn how to read? I don't even remember. I just know I was reading one day. Yep. Okay, so that you might have in your mind subconsciously thought at some point you'll learn how to read because teachers are teaching you.
Right.
Nope.
Wow.
And then that leads me to my third point. Teachers, it's not the teacher's job to be the only person teaching your child. My mom used to tell me, never let school be the only place you learn.
Yeah.
Always. You always seek knowledge. So that shouldn't be, it's not, don't put it on them. A lot of times, I hear that all the time. Well, what they teaching them at that school if they don't know something?
Right.
Well, when they come home and ask you for help with that homework and you don't know how to do it either. Right. Whose fault is it?
Right.
What we doing?
Right.
Well, and I ain't talking about, listen, I know some of this algebra, 11th, 10th grade, get a little difficult. Don't get me wrong. I got a whole book on it.
But if your kid's in kindergarten.
You know what I'm saying? And you out here like, listen, why you don't know this word?
You're sending emails to your teacher saying it's too much math homework and you need some extra directions.
You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong, that core math is another thing. I understand. I had to watch a whole video on core math. I was like, what is this? We taking a real long way to get to the answer. I could have finished this in 3 seconds.
So let's shift to these win and plays. So, and I think you opted for the 3, 3, and 3?
Yes.
All right, so let's hit that first one.
Okay, so if I were to give tips to principals, I would say lead with compassion and mercy, and remember that you're leading people. I would say tip number 2, make sure that your vision is clear, so that when you're leading people, everyone is not all over the place, but everyone has the vision at hand. And my third tip would be pour and reap. Remember who you pour into, you have to trust. And then you'll reap, as they pour, the harvest of other teachers that are becoming like you are.
That's a good one, man. Hold on. We're going to pause and we're going to say loud on that one. Go ahead and say that one again. That's a good one. That's a really good one.
I said pour and reap. Remember, as you pour, you have to trust who you're pouring into. That what you put into them, you're going to see it come back to you. A lot of times we want to teach, and we pour, and then we don't give an opportunity for people to reciprocate or to multiply what has been poured into them. We just stay here.
Right.
But in order for to see the growth, you have to move.
Right.
And allow people to grow and show you that I've mastered what you poured.
And that trust, like you said, you got to trust that they're actually receiving the information and being able to figure out how to use it and then go forth. Again, that patience piece comes in again too, because if you're constantly pouring out, it's like, well, when are you going to give them a chance to chew it, right? I'm giving you all this food, but eventually you got to chew it, then dissect it, eat it and swallow. But it's like that pouring out piece, like you said, there's a level of pause there, wait, and then trust that they actually got it. Because if that trust isn't there, then these are your 3 points. Go ahead.
But it's good because then, at the same time, even though you poured it to me, I may not do it like you did it. So you have to allow room for me to allow God to embellish my creativity with what you poured into me.
Yeah,
so it may not look like how you did it, but it's still going to be
used.
Impactful. Right.
No, that's good. That's good.
So if I were to give my 3 points to teachers, it would be to always teach with love. And also remember that you are over little people. You're leading little people. My tip number 2 is remember you are teaching nations. So what you put into them at this time is a seed, but eventually it's going to bloom and then it's going to be sent out. What you put into them, you are responsible for what comes out of your mouth. Which means you have to control what's in your thoughts.
Yeah.
You gotta control what's in your thoughts. So now if I always remember, God has given me opportunity to teach nations. Right now I see you as a little person, but you're not gonna always be that little person.
Right.
Because when I teach you, you're gonna teach your children are gonna teach their children, and it's gonna continue to multiply.
That's good.
So we have to be careful of what comes out of our mouth.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that's powerful.
The other
teaching nations, I like that.
Yes. And my third for teachers is that mistakes are what makes great teaching moments. So a lot of times what I see in a classroom, even as a mentor teacher, is I'll see some of my teachers only wanting to teach the kids who get it. News alert, you're not teaching. Because if they already get it, what are you doing?
Right.
So you give the ones that get it to your para, and you work with the ones who don't get it. Now you're teaching.
That's good.
Because you're teaching someone who doesn't know how to do it. And yes, it's difficult. And yes, it causes me to have to go back in and figure out how am I going to meet your needs, because I have to differentiate how I'm teaching. Everybody doesn't get it from me saying it.
That's good.
Everyone doesn't get it from doing it. But some people might have to get it through music. So him listening to his music while he's writing, he's a musical learner.
Right.
So give him his space to go do what he's doing.
Pick it up.
But a lot of times we get out, turn it off. You know, like, no. That's how he learns.
Yeah.
And it's okay. He might be rapping whatever he's learning to that music, and that's how he remembers.
Yeah.
So making sure that if kids are making mistakes, those are the ones you need to work with. Then you're teaching.
Yeah, something you said that I thought was interesting in the classroom setting. You said when the teacher's teaching, there are some students that actually get it, and then those are the ones to let the pair work with, while the teacher then goes to work with the ones who actually didn't get it. I think sometimes you might see the opposite, where you have the teacher just constantly working with the ones that got it, and then the para is struggling work with the ones that don't have it, and it really should be flipped. I like that.
It should be flipped, because the parent, you're the one with the license.
She's assistant. He or she is assistant.
Right.
Yeah.
If you have the expertise, then you should be working with the kids on how to differentiate content that's going to support and meet their needs. That's where behaviors come from, because now she's over here managing behavior because she doesn't have the skill set to teach what you should be teaching. So switch it. If the parent are one who's already working with the kids who have it, and then you work with the kids who don't have it because you have the ability to teach it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
For my parents.
All right, parents. Parents, here we go. Listen up, parents.
Number one, parents, you are the power source. Your children are your biggest investment. So your love has to be irresistible, which means what you say, they cherish. So if you say, you don't have to listen to the teacher, you do what I say, you're tearing down nations. Because now, it's not, that doesn't go for the teacher, but they're not listening to the principal, they're not listening to the police officer, they're not listening to the pastor, they're not listening. That goes a long way. So your love for them is to discipline them.
Yeah.
Not with belts and chains, but teaching proper manners, responses, and teaching them how to give an answer without violence or without using their words incorrectly, but teaching and disciplining them how to have control over themselves.
Yeah.
If I control myself, then the whole room is controlled.
Right.
That's what we teach is discipline.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
number
That's
2,
good.
train before you sin. So if the word of God tells us to train up a child in the way that they should go, that when they're old, they should not depart from it. So I can tell who's been trained on day one of school.
Wow.
The person who comes in, takes a seat, hangs up their coat, or I know I'm not going to have a problem out of you.
Right.
But the one is already up, fidgeting, feeling, whatever. Excuse me, they're all over the place. I can tell. We got to work on discipline for this kid. What does that look like? Teaching procedures, teaching rules, teaching self-control in your own space without violating someone else's boundaries, including your teacher.
Right.
Not just getting up. Nope. Who gave you permission? We learned that at home. Don't warm my refrigerator without permission.
Right.
You're not allowed in the living room without taking your shoes off.
Yeah.
Make sure you wash your hands before you.
Yep. Start cooking.
Doing something in the kitchen. Yeah.
So those things are critical. Train before you sin. And number 3, stay engaged. Don't just send your kids to a building because you don't know who's
Like a
over.
daycare?
Right.
You mean they can't just drop them off and then never worry about nothing else even after they pick them up? Just
You got to stay engaged. You have to stay engaged. You should know what power school is. You have to get on it. You have to learn. I'm not tech, learn it. Learn it with your children. Have your children teach you and you teach your children. Come into the classroom and meet the teacher.
Right.
Everybody in there is not A1. Sometimes your kids are not lying.
Right.
Sometimes you need to come in and feel the energy of the room.
Yeah.
So you can say,
this
something's
is my
off.
kid's teacher. Hold on. How long
I
you been
felt
teaching?
it right. And then you should know what they are learning. So that they're not just struggling by themselves, but they actually have someone that is proud of them or shows interest, which gives them power to say, oh, I showed my mom, she was excited. My mom asked me when I came to the door, like, did you do your homework? My dad saw that I made the honor roll, made a big deal out of it. Those things matter to children. Because if you don't give it to them at home, they come to school and they don't care.
Right.
Nobody's going to give me a thumbs up. Nobody's going to post it on social media. Nobody's going to pay me $1 for an A.
Yeah.
But if the parents make it a big deal because they're engaged, they call the teacher, so-and-so told me you did this, that. You know what? You're right. Come on in. Let me meet you.
Right.
Go to the parent-teacher conference. Come and see what's going on in the school. And your kids feel empowered.
Yeah.
Are your students lacking confidence? How's their decision making in the school? What about their effort in the classroom? Are they giving it all that they really, really have? Well, these are things that as a national youth speaker and author, I address in school buildings. If you are dealing with any of these issues and you would like to have a fun, exciting, full of energy presentation, assembly, don't hesitate to reach out. My website is SeanGary.com. How they think about their next choices will be different. go ahead and book a discovery call with me, which we simply have a conversation about what their challenges are, what their needs are, and then I can share with you what I would say, do, what talks that I have that address those areas, and also what an assembly would look like. And yes, I'm pretty much there the whole day. All right, thanks a lot. Now back to the episode. I'm gonna give you package A and package B. You tell me what you want to go with. To you,
okay.
Which one would package A?
I think I would come from like the parental advocacy side of it.
The principal?
No, the parent.
Parent, you said?
The
Okay.
parent advocacy side of it.
Okay, 5 things for the parents.
Yeah, 5 things for the parents.
Awesome. Let's go.
I think I would just just be in touch with what your child needs are. Check in book bags. Make sure that you have that communication, with teachers and principals, and that you can make just surprise visits to schools, drop-ins, ask to volunteer, so that you're acclimated with what other students are in the classroom with your child. If you feel that there is something going on with your child and another child within the classroom, volunteer for special events. And I think that showing your child that you're in support of them.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Regardless of their situation.
Good. All right, so you got a couple in there. So being aware, being a part of them. I would say even because you said the checking the book bags, volunteering, I think that's a good one. That deserves a number for itself. And the third one, just now, what did you say at the end there? You said, what was that last part? Getting involved, knowing who is in the classroom. You get to do that with volunteering. Give us 2 more.
Communication with the teachers.
Okay.
I think that you should have constant communication with your student or with your child's teacher.
Nice.
And then the last one I would say would be, as a parent, there's so many. Because there's so many to even say. Do something special for your child. Make them feel special.
Good.
Do one-on-one things with your child. To make them feel included, just for them individually.
Yeah.
Within your family or within your household.
That's good. That's good. That is awesome. I love those diamonds. Guys, you're witnessing the Win and Play podcast, and you have gotten a ton of diamonds today from Sara, and we have had some great discussion. I'm sure that the comments are going to light up, and if you look down in the comments and you don't see anything down there, that just means it's on the way. And so you can leave the first comment or the second or third yourself.
All right.
So
we are at that point in the episode,
Oh, no.
the Win and Play
Alrighty.
podcast, where it's time for these Win and Plays.
Okay.
So here are your options.
Let's Alrighty. do the 3.
3 each?
Yes.
All right. Floor is yours.
All right. For principals, just remember your why. That just your climate, your leadership, and making sure your climate and culture in your building is being where it's making your teachers be successful, in turn to make your students successful. That would be my biggest tip for principals or inspiring leaders that go into the field. You said teachers. Sorry.
Was that one for principals?
Yes.
So you got 2 more?
Oh, 2 more. Okay.
Yeah.
Second.
See, he trying to get us. I'm not trying to get us, man. Look. If you're watching right now, I'm going to interject. This is going to help him take a second to think too.
Yes. Yeah, thanks.
Guys, if you're watching, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you share this episode with other teachers. Maybe you have that friend that as a teacher, they have not put any extra time, any energy into being creative with their students. They haven't gone out the way to decorate their rooms, to do the doors, to dress up, and just pull the most out of themselves first to pull the most out of the student. So we're not going to point any elbows at them, but just send this video to them so they can be encouraged, they can be inspired to do more, be more for the students that they serve. Because again, we're here for the students. And so we're going to hit that like button for the students. We're going to hit that subscribe button for the students. And we're going to share this with other educators, other student advocates, youth advocates. Guys, if you're just tuning in, we snacking on the snacks we found in this room. And I don't know if I've ever had animal crackers and Skittles like combined together. But they good today. They are good right now. And I'm going to continue to enjoy them. And so, guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We're going to get back to it. All right. Number 2.
For leaders, don't forget where you came from. I know that our leadership is very good about realizing what it's like to be in the trench of the classroom. So don't forget that when that teacher is frustrated with just different things and they do call for help, that remember what it was like in the classroom, just because they've dealt with it longer than what you think. So just remember that, hey, if they're calling for help, just remember that you were in that role, in their shoes at one point. And then my last one, I would just say, just remember to say thank you. Just say, hey, I appreciated that you covered that classroom today when nobody else would, or just, hey, thank you for going that extra mile today. I just a thank you goes a long way. So that would be my 3.
I love that.
I
love that.
All right.
Principals. All right. So you want to go teachers next, or you want to go parents?
Let's go teachers.
Teachers. All right. Hit them.
My advice is ask for as many Starbucks gift cards as possible. No, I'm joking. Just remember your why, because there's even some days I ask myself, why am I, when it's been rough, why am I still doing this? But I remember at the end of the day when a student comes up and goes, you're the best. And I'm like, okay, yes, that's why I want to become a teacher. My second advice is, especially for the rookie teachers, it will get better. I remember living at school from sunrise to sunset. It does get better. And my third advice is for teachers, just remember to take time for yourself. And I've really have had to learn that working on my doctorate is sometimes I've got to let school stuff stay at school so that I can focus on that.
That's
so
good. That's good.
For parents,
yes, parents, listen up, parents.
All right,
listen
parents, make sure that, remember, at the end of the day, it is a team. That your child, and the teacher, you're part of this team. The teacher can do great things, but it's not. We have to have your support to help your kid be successful. So just remember, you're part of this team as one, to work as one to be successful.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
My second advice is teachers are, just remember the teacher is trying. At the end of the day, they are trying to give their best to be successful. That they may not want to respond to your message at midnight, but they will get back with you soon as they can. Just remember, at the end of the day, they're trying to do what is best for your child. So, and my third tip is, once again, Starbucks gift cards do wonders. No, I'm sorry, but I mean, at the end of the day, just once in a while, I get messages from parents and they just say, thank you so much. I mean, just a simple thank you now and then. Like I said, I'm joking about the Starbucks gift cards. I mean, that's a nice perk, but just knowing that they say we appreciate you for all you do. I mean, it just goes a long way. So just a simple thank you does go a long way, parents.
To be over,
I know.
Nice. And those that are watching, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure you share this with other people. Share the platform. We are at that point where you have to make your choice. She's about to make her choice, guys. She has the decision to make. And this is how this works. So you have option A or B.
I think that I want to do the 3 tips for each person.
Okay. All right, let's go.
So my tips to admins.
Hold on. Before you start, this is the moment you want to get that pen and pad out. Go ahead and take some notes. If this is for you, take some notes. All right, here we go.
Absolutely. So for admins, my tips are: listen to your teachers and what they need from you. Make yourself available to support your teachers and the decisions that they make with our students. Consider the feedback of the staff and listen to learn, not to respond. For teachers, I suggest that you prioritize students' relationships. Be adaptable because every student is not the same and they may require different needs. Always remember to show empathy and not to be biased. Kids go through a lot of different things, and we as teachers may be the only safe place that they have. As for parents, education starts at home. We as teachers are just a supporting cast. When your child walks into the doors of our classroom, it is our jobs as teachers to continue your students' growth, not start it. We have to work together. Send your babies to school. That is so important, parents. Send your babies to school. They cannot learn if they're not present, and you can't expect teachers to pass them on if they haven't been present to learn what is needed to learn. Lastly, support your kids. Be a parent. Tie your kids' shoes before they go to school. Give them a bath. Change their clothes. If they look good, they'll feel good, and they'll want to perform better. That's my suggestions.
That's good. All right. Well, guys, listen, man, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you got something from it. Some nuggets was definitely dropped. Some diamonds were dropped. They were released. And hopefully you grabbed them and you held on to them and you implement those things. So this is the Win and Play podcast. I am your host, Sean Gary, National Youth Speaker and author. And if there's nothing else, we're out of here. Peace.